Alrighty, Chef Buck here, and today we're gonna stuff some mushrooms.
Woohoo!
Well, we just got some white button mushrooms and some criminy mushrooms here. You know, the nice thing about these is that there's already a lot of space in there. So when you pop out the little stem, you've already, you know, it's already kind of dug out a little bit. Although we might dig it out a little bit more. Whereas with these button mushrooms, you know, they don't have as much space in there. So we'll definitely want to dig those out a little bit. And in fact, I'll probably set some of these stems aside so that I'm not just stuffing my mushroom back up with just mushrooms. But you just pop out the little stems. Sometimes you just have to believe in yourself. See these little criminy mushrooms, they don't have any spine or backbone. They just give it up. Boom, no problem. So we'll cut some of this out of here. Give us a little bit more room.
Yeah, we want that filling.
You know, and I'm gonna use some of this that I'm digging out of here as my filling. We're gonna chop it up and mix it with some cheese and other ingredients.
That's a lot.
Yeah, but I'm gonna pull some of this out. We're not gonna use all that. I mean, we could use all of it, but I would rather put more cheese and parsley and garlic and whatnot in there. You know, use a spoon, use a knife, whatever it takes. Try to be careful not to rupture the sides of your mushrooms, because that'll cause a little bit of leakage with your fillings, which won't be the end of the world. I mean, we all suffer leakage at some point in our life, especially as you get older. What? I mean, with mushrooms. Okay. So I'm going to take these mushrooms that I've already dug out, and I'm just going to throw them in this bowl. And I'm going to do it upside down so I get a lot of oil on the outside. And the oil is really going to soak up in these quite readily. I'm just going to put a little bit of olive oil on here. And the easiest thing to do is, with my hand, I'll just run it around there and kind of cover them up a little bit.
So you put the tops up because you know how quick it's going to absorb, and you get it in all those little crevices.
Just so that the oil doesn't pool inside my mushrooms. I kind of want to cover the outside of the mushrooms with a little light coating of oil.
A little fat's good for everything.
Yeah, exactly. Boom, so my mushroom caps are ready. Now I'm going to prepare my filling. I'm going to go ahead and take some of these stems out. And I'll use these for soup, or I'll use them in an omelet, or something like that. But I don't want to stuff the mushrooms right back up with a bunch of mushroom. So I'm just going to use this for something else, but I will use some of this mushroom. But I'm going to give it a little chop first. And I also got this one mushroom that I busted up when I was digging it out, so I'm going to chop that up too. Throw that back in the bowl. And to this, you can add whatever you want. You know, an egg is always a good idea. Kind of a binding agent. Of course, we're going to put cheese in too. Now I'm going to do a couple of different kinds of filling. So we're going to start off super simple. Just an egg, a little chopped parsley, and then some garlic. Now I got like 6 cloves of garlic here. And I've got it minced really well, because it's just going to bake in the oven. We're not sauteing this garlic. This is raw garlic going in here. And then I got some Parmesan cheese. Boom, quite a little bit of it. And I'm not paying too much attention to how much fillings I'm putting in here. And I'm not going to put in any salt, because the Parmesan cheese has a lot of salt in it already. So we'll go ahead and give it a moosh up. And this is just a very simple filling. And I'm going to go ahead and throw this in some of my mushroom caps. But before I go any further with that, we're going to put some breadcrumbs on here. Or we're going to get our breadcrumbs ready, because I'm going to, after I fill them, I'm going to top them with breadcrumbs. Because the problem with stuffed mushrooms a lot of times is they're just too mushy-gushy. You know, so having a nice crispy breadcrumb topping makes them a lot more appealing. And in fact, we're also going to put some nuts in some of the filling a little bit later, which is going to give it even more crunch. Boom, I'm going to melt up some butter real quick. Alrighty, so our butter's melted up. I got some panko breadcrumbs. And basically we're just going to throw our panko into the butter here. The panko will instantly soak up the butter, and that will add a nice little flavor to our breadcrumbs, and it'll also help them to brown up and look more beautimous on top of our mushrooms. Go back to our filling, boom, and we'll start to stuff our mushrooms. So I'm going to stuff them and put them on a rack. Now the thing is with mushrooms, they have a lot of moisture in them, So they tend to lose water while you're cooking on them. And if you just got them on a flat pan, they're going to sit in that water and just stay mushy. But if we put them on a rack, then they'll bake a little better. And they're not going to get crispy, but they'll be less mushy. I'm going to stuff up the white mushrooms with this simple little mix of parsley, garlic, and egg and cheese. So just get it nice and stuffed in there. You know, a little bit of a mound on top. Boom, and then I'm just going to press it into my breadcrumbs, get me a little crunchy topping. And we'll set it on our rack.
Nice. You got a regular assembly going on.
That's it. Henry Ford started off in the stuffed mushroom business before he moved on to cars. Alright, so now we got 6 kind of simple little ones there, but now I'm going to change my filling up a little bit. I'm going to throw some blue cheese in here.
Ooh.
You know, it's going to make it even cheesier. And the good thing about blue cheese is it's nice and creamy and cooling. It'll have a cooling effect, which is good because I'm going to throw some hot sauce in there. A little Frank's hot sauce. So we got blue cheese and hot sauce. So this is almost going to be like a buffalo stuffed mushrooms. And I'm going to put some nuts in here. You know, the breadcrumbs are going to help to make it kind of crunchy. Give it a little more texture. But these are just some cashews that I've chopped up a little bit. And that's going to give it a lot more crunch. Let's throw this in here. Get this nice and stuffed up. And here, see, I've got so much stuffing in here. You don't have to press this in here. You can just hold it like this here and just take some of the breadcrumbs and smash it on like that if you want to get it more breadcrumby. You know, but whatever you want to do. See how much more bread, so I'm almost got the breadcrumbs mounded up on that one. But whatever's easier for you. There's no wrong way to stuff mushrooms. Alrighty, so there we got our mushrooms stuffed up. We've got them on our little rack. I got my oven preheated. Now we're going to slide it in here. And we'll check on it in just a little bit. See you then. Boom. A half hour at 375, that's going to be bueno time. But they're sitting up on this rack, so they're not down in the gooey goo. And I didn't treat this rack with anything. You know, I didn't put any oil or anything on there, any kind of spray. We'll go ahead and leave these alone for a couple of minutes before we eat one. Because if I throw one in my mouth right now, boom, it's going to be all molten cheese lava in there.
Then you can't taste the rest.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll hold off for a minute. Alrighty, so it's been about 5 minutes. So they should definitely be cooled down enough. And like I said, you can put whatever kind of fillings in there you want. But I think the nuts just add a great texture. Because sometimes, you know, if they're just mushy, gushy. But the breadcrumbs and the nuts make them how I like them.
Little blue cheese goes a long way.
Yeah,
Really
that
good.
blue cheese and hot sauce mixture is really good. Alrighty, this is a bite-sized one. So I don't have to wait for her. That had the blue cheese in it. Oh, you're supposed to be camera girl, not scarfing down more. So there you have it. Boom. Stuffed mushroom recipe, super easy. But you know, if you want to print this recipe, go to myfoodchannel.com. You can print all our recipes there. There's a link down below. Give it a try. Thanks for watching all our stuff. Appreciate it, and we'll see you in the future. Bye-bye.
Bon appetit.
Bon appetit. I forgot the bon appetit.